It had been ages since you had a day off, but here you were, finally, completing your weekly shop without the stress of knowing work awaited you later that day, pushing fresh produce as well as the added junk food into your trolley. You meandered throughout the store, listening to the radio that played in the background. Suddenly, your phone vibrated in your pocket, making you jump. Pulling it out, you read the notification across the screen. President gave me a day off. Wanna go out for coffee? Akiko had texted you, with a cute happy emoji added onto the end. You smiled softly, fingers whizzing over the screen as you replied, "Sounds nice. Meet you in the town center at 1. You hit the send option and placed the mobile back into your pocket, strolling toward the cereal aisle and browsing. You observed all your options. Unfortunately, you were too focused to spot a certain figure walking past the window. A merry smile etched across their face. Eventually, looking up, you saw them, and it was a miracle they didn't see you. Dazai stopped at the entrance, and never have you leapt into action so quickly. The man was renowned by the entire agency for being completely smitten with you. So much so, all he ever did was flirt, blatantly. Way too embarrassed to ever admit your feelings. Just seeing the man come near you ignited a ball of frustration. He didn't seem to mind you taking it out on him, though. Many civilians stared at you in confusion as you ducked and charged off with your shopping cart and toward the clothing section. Skidding to a halt, you yanked out a black hoodie with a massive hood from its hanger, not giving a care in the world for its size. All you aimed to do was to get home with your shopping without him spotting you. Easier said than done, apparently. Tugging it on over your top, of course, still aware that you hadn't bought it, you yanked the hood up and sprinted toward the cash register. Shit, there was a line. Tapping your feet impatiently, you shot a glance to the side, seeing Dazai strolling aimlessly toward the frozen foods. Just before he had a chance to turn and see you, you turned your back to him. A red blush dusted your cheeks. Had he spotted you? Nope. Dazai shrugged and headed further into the store. A sigh of relief escaped your lips, and you were able to start loading your items onto the conveyor belt, completely taken by surprise as your arms were a blur moving items from the cart to the belt. The people behind you watched wide-eyed as you whipped your credit card from your bag and ushered the people in front of you along. As they took their bags, rushed by your frantic behavior, they left in a hurry. "Could you scan this while I wear it?" you asked the man behind the till. He raised an eyebrow, narrowing his eyes. "You seem on edge, madame." He sighed, tugging the label from your hoodie, scanning it. "You have no idea." You groaned as he continued to scan items. You shot to the side, filling the bags as fast as you possibly could. At colored irises darting upward, you realized Dazai was getting ready to purchase his things as he joined the very line you were just a part of. Biting your tongue and snatching the bags from the counter, you ran to the double doors. "Wait, you're forgetting your trolley." I fucking hate this job. Breathing a massive sigh of relief, you had finally made it a good way away from the shop, albeit a bit out of breath. Looking over your shoulder for the first time, you were thankful to only see strangers behind you. going about their daily business, slower now. You slumped down into a nearby bench, dropping the bags at your sides, running a hand through your hair and closing your eyes for a second. You pulled down your hood and tried to cool down. Thud. You ignore the sound, focusing on calming down. Thud, thud. Your eyes snapped open, only to see two men escaping with all your shopping bags. It eluded you to why they'd want to steal groceries. However, you leapt to your feet, waving your fist. "You've got to be fucking kidding me!" You hollered, breaking out into a sprint, chasing them toward the public park. You quickly realized they were much faster than you. This caused for important measures. Brows furrowed, you activated your ability, Creature of the Shadows. Instantly, your body morphed into that of a beautiful wolf. Much faster than your original form, it was no secret to the public that people had abilities. Whilst some stared in utter shock, others muttered things under their breath and continued with their day. Pouncing after the men, who quickly realized you were no longer human, you diverted their path toward a wide alleyway. So close, you realized, as if you just jumped forwards, you'd grabbed one of them by the foot. "It's very rude to steal, boys," a familiar voice cried as a figure leapt in front of you, grabbing them by the collars. Dazai threw them to the ground, the shopping bags flying and the contents spilling everywhere. The two men didn't even spare a breath before stumbling to their feet and turning, defeat toward the other end of the alley. Dazai turned to you, looking down at your canine features. A low growl rumbled in your throat, and his eyes widened. "Oh, you hurt me. I just got your shopping bag as well," he wailed, putting a hand over his face. You snorted, eye-colored eyes narrowing as he reached down to pet your silky fur. As soon as he came into contact with you, rings of light twirled around your body, and then you stood before him as a human, face bright red with an irritated scowl. You crossed your arms. "Dog didn't look good on you anyway," Dazai murmured. What the hell do you think you're doing?" You snapped, stuttering. "Being your knight in shining armor, of course." No, you're not. I hate you, you idiot." Your tone was frustrated as you barged past him, bent down and began to gather the spilled groceries. A couple of seconds later, another pair of hands began to help. "Stop. Go away," you spat, chucking a soup can at him. With a smug smirk, he caught it. "I'm afraid I can't do that. How else will you fall further in love with me?" He breathed, passing the can back. You could feel the blush burning away at your skin now, as he laughed quietly. You could hardly form a reply as he finished collecting the items. "Idiot." You could only think of that to say before you sighed. "All I do is be horrible to you. Why do you still try?" Unprepared for what happened next, Dazai lunged toward you, pressing you against a wall. Your breath hitched in your throat as his narrowed eyes gazed down at you. Leaning in so close, his warm breath danced over the skin of your neck, sending a shiver down your spine, heart beating wildly. You couldn't move. "I try because I have feelings for you. Isn't that obvious?" He breathed, chestnut eyes sparkling with affection. He looked straight into your eye-colored irises, tucking your hair-colored strand of hair behind your ear. He leaned in, inching closer and closer to your lips. Squeezing your eyes closed, the soft skin of his lips brushed over yours, before pressing down firmly. He braced a hand on the wall behind you. You'd never felt so tense, so helpless. Parting away for a second, he raised an eyebrow as you attempted to reply. Shit. Oh, what was that? Fuck you. You finally gave up, despite the blush like fire on your face. You grabbed the collar of his shirt, yanking him back towards you. Feeling him grin into the kiss, his tongue brushed over your lower lip, almost begging for entry. However, before things could get any more heated, A familiar buzz vibrated against your leg. Totally startled, you pushed Dazai away from you, so hard that he almost stumbled over. Hello? You stuttered into the phone, answering the call. Hey, Lion, I've been waiting for you at Town Sentry for ages now. You turning up or not? Akiko sounded irritated on the other end of the line. You froze. Shit, you've completely forgotten. I'm sorry. I'll be there soon. Stay there. You cried. You sound different. Is Dazai there? Oh ho ho. I know what you're like with him. Poor little lion. So helplessly in love, but so frustrated by their emotions. Adorable. Her tone turned mischievous, and you, for once in your life, felt annoyed at your own friend who knew you so well. Eyes darting up to look at Dazai, you waited patiently. You replied, I'm really sorry to do this, but I might be a little late after all. Make it 2? You asked. All right, see you then, she replied with a knowing tone. As soon as the line went quiet, you realized that maybe you didn't give the two of you enough time.